Did anybody else find something off about Kash Patel's confirmation hearing last night? Trump's new FBI director nominee just sparked, panic mode for these Democrats. And Marsha Blackburn also exposes Democrats' true fears. Could it be possibly Epstein?
Their questions, and it has led me to one thing. Why are the Democrats so afraid of you?
I don't know, Senator. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I tell you what I think. And listening to their questions and your responses, which we appreciate, they know that you're going to go in and you're going to clean up that political cabal that has been over there for years. You are going to reposition the FBI to its core mission. You stated that earlier in this hearing, and there will be no more political persecutions and no more two tiers of justice. And they have liked having two tiers of justice. They have enjoyed it, and it has helped them. They think in their political mission, they've enjoyed targeting Catholics. They've enjoyed targeting parents. But the American people have said they want no more.
Enough is
of
enough.
That. And our colleagues know you're going to clean it up. I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international.
But you got Democrats out here trying to block that and actually lying about it, too. I'm going to prove to you how.
Flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to.
Yes, because right now these Democrats are completely and utterly incompetent in their response to trying to get over the Epstein client list. The fact that the American people have been asking for this, forever, because it will hold so many people accountable. And the fact that they are giving this man such a hard time just for being a Trump director or a Trump nominee, because they know that he's not coming there with the intention of trying to be friendly with these other people in these other departments. He's there to do the actual job of the FBI director and get to the bottom of things. They're terrified of that because it could possibly implicate them in some sort of way. Yeah, so now we're finding out what the Democrats are really terrified of. Now, remember, before President Trump was in office, Elon Musk said this about the Epstein client list. And Libs of TikTok added, nobody in Hollywood is sleeping tonight.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if
I did get so much support.
Trump wins, that if
he did one,
the client list is going to become public. Yes.
I messed that completely up. I'm started over for y'all. My bad.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public. Yes.
Okay,
and
so
some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome. Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, those donors are. And we can't wait to talk to you all about the people that I can't wait till we have an update on RFK Jr. so I can expose some of the stuff that I found out about the people funding them. Anyhow, I wanted to bring this to your attention. Well, Donald Trump revealed the names on the Epstein list. Now, we know he declassified, but we have to, some sort of loophole that I don't know about that it has to go through in order for it to be made available for us to read. Let me see if I can make this smaller or bigger. Oh, no, it ain't gonna work in y'all favor that way. Y'all don't care anyway. I'll read it for y'all. President Donald Trump faces growing calls for to unseal the documents surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's controversial death. Texas Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn and Rep. Tim Burchett are spearheading efforts to bring these files to light, seeking answers about Epstein's global sex trafficking network and the circumstances surrounding his demise. This push aligns with Trump's recent executive order to declassify files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, which has reignited discussions about government transparency. Blackburn and Burchett believe the Epstein case deserves similar scrutiny. Blackburn has long advocated for releasing unredacted evidence, including Epstein's flight logs and Maxwell's notorious Little Black Book. She also called on the Department of Justice to provide prison footage of the communications tied to Epstein's death. Jeffrey Epstein built a disgusting global sex trafficking network that caused irreparable damage to countless women. And Americans deserve to know exactly who was affiliated with this network. Which is raising eyebrows as to why these Democrats are so against this guy, Kash Patel. I want y'all to actually hear from an Epstein victim right here. This is why we need Kash Patel, and this can't be swept under the rug.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on for.
Wow.
I have
10 years old. I mean, I'm a father. I have a daughter that's 9 years old, bro. Let me bring myself back together. I am recording a video right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Just sad. It's just sad, man. I don't even know what to add on to that. Honestly, I genuinely don't. I'm just heartbroken at that. And 10 years old. This is why America and we Americans are so happy to have Donald Trump back, man. He can't save everybody. He's not going to be able to save the world. I get it. But to put an end to this BS, children being trafficked, at least just tearing down the systems in which which allows this to continue. Senator Durbin said that him and Marsha Blackburn had not spoken one time about her subpoena for the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs. She posted this clip saying, maybe this will jog his memory.
I understand you made some statements about the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs. I had not spoken to you one time about this issue.
Since we're in the business of issuing subpoenas now, here are a few more that I've filed. A subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate to provide the flight logs for his private plane, given the numerous allegations of human trafficking and sexual abuse surrounding Mr. Epstein.
I understand.
They can sit there and try to play in your face all day. We haven't spoken about this. We haven't. And on top of that, y'all, look. I want y'all to look at this. He tried to double down on it. He tried. He really did.
His book, start there. He dropped his playbook. We all have a copy of it. You know what his agenda is. It's very clear.
Are there any circumstances where you could vote for him if he answers some questions satisfactorily?
I completely messed up. I meant to say he's doubling down on his fear of Kash Patel. Yeah, got a little excited there, guys. My fault. But this right here speaks volumes.
His book, start there. He dropped his playbook. We all have a copy of it. We know what his agenda is. It's very clear.
Are there any circumstances where you could vote for him if he answers some questions satisfactorily?
I doubt it. I've investigated this gentleman. I've read this book twice, which is cruel and unusual, but I've gone through it twice, so I understand what makes him tick. He should not be head of the FBI. Okay? His book.
You understand what makes him tick. He should not be the... First of all, if you had to read that book twice, that also indicates some level of panic to me. I'm just saying. Like, you over there like, oh yeah, let me read this front to back real quick, which either he didn't do or he did out of panic. He didn't do, but he's saying it to them because he want to try to stress the importance of why Kash Patel wouldn't be qualified. But if you ask me, this is doing more for the public sentiment in terms of us going, hey, we need to hurry up and get him up in there. Why he's so nervous? Kash Patel has been nothing but stand up, in my opinion. He's been somebody who's answered every question without flinching. He's also responded with integrity, decent temperament, dealing with these Democrats. Somebody says, I wonder if, Gunther added, I wonder if Epstein's client list has any of Dick's buddies on it. Let's read a few comments. I, for one, am shocked after hearing his questions. Epstein Island. Yes, he definitely reeks of Epstein. He knows some stuff, you know. Let me see. Let's read some more. In other news, Maxwell was found guilty of trafficking minors to nobody 3 years. What? What is this? Bernie Sanders screams a big form of corruption. Okay, cool. What would shock me is if a Democrat said they were going to vote for him or Tulsi or Pam. We already know they won't. Why do they even pretend? That is a very good question right there, man. I mean, you just seen, what's his name? I can't even remember this guy's name off top. We just seen Durbin. There we go. I try to sit there and make it seem like, I mean, he just told y'all nothing that Kash Patel does or says will win him over. So yeah, they already got their mind made up for sure. Now, this right here could have been the reason why they had their mind made up. So this was Kash Patel when he revealed Bill Gates had been lobbying the Senate day and night to block the release of the Epstein list. That's crazy, really?
That Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? That Bill Gates?
Honestly, what did the Republicans do? Honestly, in that time, I didn't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. Now we're going to take a pivot real quick. Shout out to my guy, Ian Curl. This guy right here does some phenomenal journalistic work. And I wanted to show y'all, he has an interesting theory right now, or he has some interesting facts. I'm sorry, I don't want to sit here and try to make it seem like a conspiracy theorist. However, right here, he has made the connection between UFC and Epstein. He's also added Dana White and then Jews control everything.
Have you ever wondered who owns the UFC? You better buckle up for this. I'm just going to read very mainstream sources and I'm going to let you fill in the blanks. And don't worry, it won't be hard to do. So in case we're not clear, we're talking about the UFC, the biggest mixed martial arts fighting promotion in the world. They're owned by TKO Group Holdings, which is owned by Endeavor Group Holdings. And the CEO of TKO Group is Ari Emanuel. And he is also the CEO of Endeavor, the bigger company, along with Patrick Whitesell, the executive chairman. But I guess his name is probably pronounced Ari Emanuel because it's Jewish, not Mexican. His father, Jerusalem-born Benjamin Emanuel, was a pediatrician who was in the Irgun, a Zionist paramilitary group that operated in mandatory Palestine during the 30s and 40s. And just to clarify, paramilitary group means terrorist organization.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, that is not my definition or Hamas's definition or Palestinians' definitions. That is literally the Israeli government's definition. In 1948, they outlawed the Irgun and Lehi groups, declaring them terrorist organizations. Basically, everyone inside and outside of Jewish worlds called them terrorists and strongly condemned them. Here's a list of the bombings that they were responsible for. So anyways, his dad was a Zionist terrorist from back when Israel was being formed. And now he runs the UFC. Well, he owns the UFC. Dana White runs it. But that is just the start of this.
I honestly thought that Dana White was the owner of UFC. Now, this puts a big question mark about a lot of stuff, too. We know Dana White is actually a friend and supporter of Donald Trump as well. What is all this alluding to is my question. What does all this lead up to?
Because he has two brothers. This one was Obama's White House chief of staff after years in senior positions in the Clinton administration. But there's another one. This one works at the Center for American Progress, the Wharton School, Harvard, and the NIH. But don't worry, the deep state is not real. Oh yeah, and President Joe Biden named him one of the 16 members of the COVID-19 advisory board. All three of those guys, their dad was an Israeli terrorist that even the Israeli government outlawed because their terrorist acts were so fucked up. Like bombing civilians. Literally. But wait, there's more. Because both Ari and his buddy Patrick, who are in charge of that other whole organization in charge of the UFC, they are also both in charge of IMG. They are co-CEOs. IMG is like a sports and media company. They have a whole entertainment and modeling division, including Miss Teen USA, Miss Universe. What does that remind me of? Yeah, you remember Epstein's pimp, Jean-Luc Brunel, who hung himself right before Epstein was all coming out? He allegedly procured more than 1,000 women and girls for Epstein. One of IMG's top representatives described him as a coked out misogynistic pig from day one. Whew. Thank goodness. I'm glad that IMG is not involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, except for this article where a bunch of survivors told their stories, and this one said that she worked for IMG. She told IMG what he was doing to her over in France or wherever she was, and IMG was like, oh, that's cool, whatever, no problem. And then they continued to send girls to him. Yeah, so IMG worked with him. And IMG doesn't just do modeling. No. Here is all the sports leagues and events UFC. That they work with. There's the UFC. They do modeling, consulting, events, like the Premier League.
Oh my God, bro, this just gets deeper and darker and deeper and darker and deeper and darker. About a minute, bro. I'm being completely honest and transparent. I'm not sure I fully understand. I understand the scope of what's happening, but like, it's so much information hitting me at once right now. It's just like, I'm mind blown. Like,
they do modeling, consulting, events, like the Premier League, the highest level of English football, like the PGA of America, like the United States Tennis Association. They've got figure skating. They got motorsports. Shit, they've even got the world's strongest man in the US Open of surfing. Are you getting the picture yet? These three brothers, whose dad was a Zionist terrorist, have been top dogs at the Clinton White House, the Obama White House, the Biden COVID response. They control the UFC, a huge amount of the modeling industry, a huge amount of the tennis, golf, all sorts of sports, soccer, rugby. There are quite literal ties to Epstein. And don't get me wrong, I love MMA. I love watching the UFC. But just think about culture. Think about gladiators. Think about Rome. Think about all the other industries we've recently learned have weird ties to sexual blackmail rings. Think about modeling. Think about how young boys and girls grow up in America. And if you're on TikTok, think about downloading this video right now, because it's not going to last very long. And when it goes away, you can find it on the other platforms. Yeah, so that's who owns the UFC.
Ian Curl, man. First of all, bravo, brother. This further explains the panic from the Democrats and why they don't want Kash Patel. He's somebody that's not coming in there, like I say, looking to get bribed in order to carry out any particular agendas. He's there to get the American people exactly what we've been asking for, which is answers. Wow. It's all connected, my dude. Somebody says, well, there goes any hope of being on Rogan. He's too scared to have me on anyways, Ian wrote. I wonder why, man. When this guy makes a video about you, it's game over. Yes, Ian does not play. TKO, for sure. If UFC is a disgrace, it's anti-Christian. Ian responded 100%. Oh, man. All I can say is this is one of those moments where I can't unsee or unhear what I just heard. We need that list. We need the confirmation hearing to go ahead and confirm Kash Patel, man. Seriously. Before I get up out of here, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for all the donations. It's been completely heartwarming, and I'm super grateful for that. I'm going to also say thank y'all for signing up to my Patreon and also following me on my other social media accounts like X and Instagram at kingdomreacts. Thank y'all so much. Patreon is Kingdom Crew for those who don't know. And I just want to say, God bless y'all. Go check on somebody today. Y'all don't want to miss the next video.